Hey everybody, Andrew here from Pacific Coast Auto, taking a look at the results of last week's auction picks. The results are pretty interesting because I think we have both the most expensive and least expensive picks ever in the history of doing this series. So let's get started. Up first, the NSX Type R. This one did sell and it went for way over Derek's guess. It sold for $174,650. I believe that's our most expensive successful pick ever. The Audi RS4 Avante was not as successful. It went unsold for $44,740. The Mitsubishi Delica went for well under Derek's guess. Someone got that for just $1,590. The Suzuki Alto Works was unsold even though it got a bit higher than Derek's guess. That one topped out at $270. The Subaru Forester Turbo Aero did get bid up well over Derek's guess, but it was still unsold at $49.10. The Toyota Town Ace Noah sold for just $1,630. And now our cheapest car ever. The Mitsubishi Mini Katapo did sell and it went for way under Derek's guess. Somebody picked this car up for $50. No missing zeros, really, 50 bucks. Our last car, the FD RX-7, also sold for well under Derek's guess. Someone got this one for $3,200 even. That's going to do it for last week's picks. Now here's Derek with this week's.
Hey guys, it's Derek here, and we're going to run through the auction picks for this week and have a couple of things before we get into it. Number one, this video is going up kind of a day late, 12 hours late or so. Yesterday I was stuck at home with my little boy who was sick, and so couldn't come in to shoot the video. And then today, actually my little boy's in and playing with Naoko at the park while we shoot this, and then I'm going to go home and hang out with him again. And so, other thing too, this week we had an overabundance of people sending in pics from the USS auctions. And we say every week in the description there, don't send us the USS ones, because that auction house doesn't let us post the sold prices of their vehicles. They're strict about that, and they're going to cancel our membership if we don't listen to them. And so if you picked a USS car, you can't have it in here. Sorry about that, but keep that in mind for the future picks. Don't send us the USS ones. And it is a bit sad. USS is the biggest auction house. They have all of the best cars because USS prices are generally higher than other auctions because they're bigger and more people buy from them. And so if you're a seller, you'll send your coolest cars to the USS auctions. That's just the way that it works. And so it is kind of sucky, but there's nothing much that we can do about it. I haven't seen any of these cars yet that we're going to go through, and so you're going to be seeing them at the same time as I'm seeing them for the first time. They were all picked by Andrew, so thank you everyone who sent them in. And first one here from Brandon Decker. Andrew, is he related to you?
Not that I'm aware of.
Same last name as Andrew. And he sent in a Fiat, this is a Punto, I think, and super modified too. In fact, this is quite a cool little car. Sadly, I'm from Canada, the land of no Fiat cars, and so I don't really know anything about these. We haven't had Fiat since like the early 1980s, and then they left the North American market. Mercor? Weird. Isn't that like the European version or a subsidiary of Mercury? Huh. Okay, don't know anything about that. And so, this is a 2001 Fiat Punto 1700cc engine. I gotta think that that's a inline 4-cylinder transversely mounted front-wheel drive is my guess. Don't know, because I've never actually seen one of these cars in person. You don't see them driving around in Japan very often, that's for sure. It's an auction grade 4, interior C, exterior C, 89,690 kilometers with a 5-speed transmission purchased from user. And looks like the body's okay with some paint damage. We got paint cracks here, paint cracks here, paint cracks here, and paint cracks here, like front bumper and the fender part. That front bumper is crazy. And with the headlight covers on it, and the front bumper, and the big wheels, it's kind of a cool look. I think that this look is the type of look that you can't be too serious about your car. Maybe somebody actually thinks that this looks cool, and they're like, my car is much cooler than everyone else on the road. But I think it's more like a tongue-in-cheek kind of, haha, look at how silly and crazy my car can get. Let's see, it says possibly an imported car, sunroof doesn't work, aftermarket audio, aftermarket suspension, exhaust air cleaner. What is that? Center cap's missing on the wheels. Drive shaft boot is ripped. That's pretty much... Oh, and seat has a small rip in it. Condition doesn't seem that bad. Drive shaft boots are not that difficult to fix, but it could mean that you have to replace your drive shaft if the damage has happened The way it works is the drive shaft boot holds in the grease for the CV that's inside it, and then when that grease comes out, the CV can destroy itself if it's not properly greased. And so if you buy this car, you might have to replace a drive shaft. Usually if it's making noise, which is what a CV shaft will do when it starts to break, then it will say on the auction sheet here, car makes noise when moving from that area. As far as price, everyone, you're killing me. You're picking these cars that I have no idea of, but being this vintage of Fiat, it's going to scare people off because they're not known to be the most reliable cars. Plus, it's weird looking. And so you put 2 and 2 together, and you come up with a price that's going to be pretty low for this. I can't see it selling for more than 100,000 yen. So there's my pick. On to the next one from Thomas Wells. What did you pick for us? This is kind of neat. So this is an electric car, and you can get these as Nissans, actually. And this one doesn't look like it's a Nissan. Electric vehicle combs. I think it's the same thing. Okay, so anyways, Nissan makes cars that look exactly like these, and about 5 years ago they had them as test drive from the Nissan World headquarters in Yokohama, so you can rent them for free, actually, and you could just bomb around the Yokohama downtown area, which is a really nice place to hang out. And I think that they're neat, but you know, they're a stepping stone in the electric vehicle-ness of the world. They're not really a practical car. They're more of a, look at me, I just bought something weird. And 3,137 kilometers. It's a 2012. It's electric. Doesn't have an engine in it. No grade on it. First time at auction. Body looks fair. Big scratch on one side here. Wouldn't be able to see that in the picture. But let's see. There's stuff here. Center caps are missing. Those are really weird wheels. You'd think they would be a more modern design for the wheels than that. And looks like the door has super cloudiness in the plastic cover there. Ha 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 ha. Maybe somebody's gonna pay 100,000 yen for this. Don't know. Don't really care about this kind of car. Sorry, Thomas. Not that electric cars are anything of a problem. I just think that a single-seater electric car is just something that doesn't appeal to me at all. Okay, so the next one was picked by two people, Zay Wang and Jose Oval, both returning champions here. And so what do we have? Okay, this is an Alfa Romeo. I'm not going to look over here. I'm covering the screen. This is a 157? Check. Oh, I got it wrong. It's a 156. I'm going to have to quit my day job. And we have modified rear wing, the super 90s JDM style on an Italian car. That's cool. You can hear Andrew's conversation in the background if you're quiet. He's on the phone. Okay, so 1998 Alfa Romeo 156 and 2000 cc. It's a twin spark engine. Not a bad engine, really. Auction grade 3, interior B, exterior B minus, 57,401 kilometers. 5-speed manual. Actually, these are pretty hard to find in 5-speed manual. And so this is kind of Alfa Romeo's 3 Series, like a BMW 3 Series, but Alfa Romeo's competition to it. And so we have a 4-door front-wheel drive. I think they're a pretty good value. They're really cheap. AC doesn't work. Airbag lamp is on. Exterior has paint fade and peeling. Big problem on these cars, especially the red ones. Dashboard comes up, oil leak. Headlights are cloudy, and front bumper underside scratch. Body is pretty good. Now, these vehicles tend to be kind of on the unreliable side. They depreciate in value pretty quickly, and then Japanese buyers, they typically they're afraid of an older European car quite a bit, and so because of that, prices in Japan are really low, much lower than other countries, I would think. This car, we have no starting price. With the 5-speed, it's going to be a little bit more. I'm going to think, condition's not great, but it's not terrible. Maybe 220,000 yen on this one. Okay, on to the next one, Matt Johnson sent in. Oh, tiny little pictures. I don't know what it is with KCAA Fukuoka. They do the mini pictures too, and they're the only other auction other than USS that does the mini pictures. Kind of weird. Anyways, so we have, this is a rear wheel drive. It's weird. Look, you get the 4 doors, which is something I don't think that you can get in America. I think these were 2 doors only for the Tacoma pickup. Technically, this is a Hilux, but I think that it's pretty similar to the Tacoma because this one here is 1997, and in 1997 we had Tacomas in the USA. So, maybe. But obviously different with the doors, the shorter bed, and then it looks like a pink color shift paint, which is pretty crazy. I guess reddish, pinkish color shift paint. I don't know. Automatic transmission comes with a 2000cc, and let's see, where does it say? Gasoline engine on this one. Octane grade 3.5 with an interior B and an exterior C. Modified to be lowered down. 17-inch wheel, CD player, aftermarket grille, and front spoiler. How cool is that? And look at this tiny little mirror here for checking your side clearance. For the right person, it's cool. The pink's going to turn off a lot of people, and so that will probably keep the price down. But if you like pink cars, you can usually get them for a cheaper price at an auction, especially compared to painting it yourself. Red pearl pink is what they call this, and obviously it's a color change. And so, color change car, various paint wave on the car, various modifications to it. Aftermarket steering wheel, bed has scratches and dents in it. Interior wear, headliner is stained. Bumper paint peeling, airbag lamp is on, and no claims on this car, so make sure that you see it in person if you're worried about the condition. Paint peeling on the front here, it says. Otherwise, the body's pretty good. Hilux trucks are expensive, but pink ones, I don't know about that. 120, 278, or 279 is reasonable to a little bit high mileage for Japan. And the funny thing about Japan is that they really don't like their pickup trucks here, especially compared to Canada and the USA, where pickup trucks are everywhere. So something like this in Japan would be pretty rare. I'm kind of thinking that there's a bigger market for it here in Japan than for export. And so, price? I'll say 300,000 yen on that one. On to the next one from Jose Oval. That's your second pick. Looks like you picked an S2000. I just watched Doug DeMuro's video. I don't even know if that's how you say his name. On S2000. Thought it was a pretty interesting video. You know, people either love him or hate his content. I think it's fun to listen to while I'm doing translations in the background. Okay, 1999 S2000. This one here is an AP1. 40. So the AP1 is the 2000cc, 240 horsepower. No power until you get past 6,000 RPM kind of engine. 42,049 kilometers on it. Octane grade 4, interior B, exterior B. Japan has lots of these. Not so many hardtops. I mean, hardtops are available to get. There's not an awful lot of them. Most of them are soft tops without the optional hardtop on them. Hardtop will bring the price up a little bit too because of that. But prices here in Japan has gone up a lot in the last 5 years or so as people are clinging on to the last of the 90s Japanese sports cars. And this is one of the, like if you like Hondas, this is one of the pinnacle Hondas that you could get. So it is cool. Fun little fact, in Japan they kept the 2000cc engine for a few years after the 2.2 came out in the States. That's because in Japan, if you have an engine bigger than 2 liters, you fit into the next tax category for registration. Okay, and what is it? Seat wear, wheels scratched, electric open top doesn't work. Body seems to be pretty good. Electric open top could be pricey to fix. Don't really know. 6-speed manual, they all came with that. I don't think you could get them as autos, but I could be wrong about that. But I don't think so. Purchased from user, black leather seats, push start, xenon headlights, and a hardtop. So, price for very low mileage, very good condition, soft top doesn't work. I don't know if these are more expensive in Japan than in other countries. They might be. I kind of see this one going for about 1.4 million yen. Okay, and on to the next one. Another one from Andrew's brother, Brandon. And we have a Toyota Hiace camping car. And kind of an older one with the square headlights. It's cool. It looks like it needs a little bit of work, but it's cool. Especially looks like it needs work if you've got customizations, homemade table fitted to dashboard, homemade crushed velvet on the center console with a weird face. Look, its eyes and a mouth. Wooden steering wheel, pillows on the ground. It's like zabuton. It's the Japanese pillows that people sit on when they sit on the floor, because a lot of people still eat dinner sitting on the floor here, like our family. Okay, so aftermarket front bumper on here. Looks like paint is pretty rough, but it's a high roof, long version with the extra window here. You can't stand up completely in the high roof, even though this is a camping car. You won't be able to if you are 5'10". If you're a little bit shorter than that, but then probably yes. This is a nice little weekender type vehicle. It's got the things that you need, but it's not one that you want to camp in for very long, because it's just not big enough to stand up in, stretch out in, and the appliances and stuff is going to be pretty small cabinetry, small appliances. So it looks like we got some corrosion. Usually this is the first thing I look at, especially for American 25-year-old cars. This is a 1989. Look at the diagram first, because there's a good chance there's going to be rust on the car. And here we have C2 and A3 and paint cracks and paint peeling, and S2. S2 is rust on the roof. C1 here, cracked here. So there's a cracked part of the grille and cracks in the front bumper. It looks like it's pretty rough in the picture too. And it says high roof long on here, but they don't have any details about what comes inside it. Sometimes there are extra pictures that you can go and snag from the USS Direct site. Actually, this one's JU. Sometimes JU has extra pictures too, but not very often. So we don't really know what's inside. We get a lot of people asking for campers because the idea of a diesel engine, four-wheel drive camper is really awesome. This is a 2.4 liter turbo diesel, and with a 5-speed column shift. That's weird. There's the column shifter. So 5-speed manual. But for a 25-year-old camper, you don't know if some bum has been sleeping in it for years and years and years and racking up no mileage, or if a dainty 60-year-old retired couple is living in it and taking very good care of it. And so it's very hit and miss. This one kind of looks like a miss, and so we're expecting a lower price on this one, but you can't really tell until you buy the vehicle, and because of that, it's not for everybody to buy a camper from the Japanese auctions. Front cross member has a small dent in it, end panel dented. It has various modifications to it, underside surface rust and corrosion. Exterior paint peeling, seat cigarette burn and rip, and interior has some modifications. So exterior and interior modifications to it. And the seller doesn't say if it's four-wheel drive or not. Kind of a big deal to mention that, but if they don't mention it, you can usually assume that it's not four-wheel drive, because the four-wheel drive ones are going to sell for more. My price estimate for this one, I think someone's going to overpay for it, but I'll say it's worth 200,000 yen. Okay, and on to the next one. We have one sent in from Jalmari Raipalina, and I'm very sorry if I didn't get that right. Us in Canada, we have not very many ethnic names. Maybe that's not true, actually. I'm going to have to roll that one back. Anyways, so Jalmari sent in this one here. Jalmari is a current customer of ours, so thank you very much for coming and sending this one in. He bought an AZ1 just last week, and I haven't seen it yet. It got dropped off at the lot yesterday. Andrew told me it is the cleanest and nicest AZ1 he's ever seen, and so we've bought a few of them. A lot of them are in kind of so-so to good condition, but he says this one's super amazing. I will check it out as soon as I can, but with the sick son, I'm not sure when I can get that done.
We'll be on the channel too.
Oh yeah, and Andrew says it's going to be on this channel, so if you're looking forward to a really good-looking AZ1, then make sure that you are a subscriber. Most of the people who watch these videos are. I can see the statistics in them, so I know that. Anyways, sent this one in. This is an interesting vehicle. So this is a Mira, Daihatsu Mira Gino. And so they just used the Mira name because it's a well-known name. The Gino is quite different from the regular Mira, from Marty's Mira, or that sort of thing. This one has basically a front end that copies the original Mini. And then you get the fun looks of the original Mini without the unreliability and always breaking down of the original Minis. Now, it's not as cool as the original Minis, but these are way cheaper, way better built, way more reliable, and a lot more space inside, plus they're 4 doors. And people in Japan put stripes on them to make them look like Coopers, paint the roof white. Pretty cool. I think you could actually get them like that with the white roof and the stripes. And there's one called the Mini Light Special, which is a turbo 4-wheel drive version of it, and it comes with Mini Light wheels. Not this one though. And you can get them with 5-speed manual. Okay, so Mira Gino Turbo is what it says. It's a K car with the yellow license plates, and so it's got a 660 cc turbocharged engine. That'll be 64 horsepower, or 64 PS, pardon me. Auction grade 4, interior grade B, 55 to 12 kilometers. Automatic transmission on this one. Aftermarket 14-inch wheels, turbo timer. Some other things there I didn't get to. Front and rear bumpers have paint fade. So it looks like it's a plastic bumper that has been painted a chrome. And so it has paint fade on that chrome bit. And so what you need to do is take it off and paint it black. And paint these bezels black. And these ones. And the grille all black. And then murder it out. And I don't know where that term came from, but I'm going to use it. Oh, and you have Grandpa's seat covers inside. That makes my day. Somebody needs to buy this, please. When is the auction? Today? Yes. Shoot. Well, the auction time's not posted. If only I had the money. I could use one of these. I could use more company cars. Okay, so looks like condition's pretty fair. Body seems to be okay. Mileage is low, but it's an auto. Auto will keep the price down. So. Price on this one, I think 100,000 yen on that one. And on to the very last one from Adam Wynn, also one of our customers. Hello, Adam. Nice to see you. You sent in an FD. And the FD has become the super popular car everyone in the US wants, because they are now finally legal, and the price between the US ones and the Japanese ones was a pretty fair difference. That means that the price at auction has gone up though, so they are a car that you have to put more money in order to sell. You can most likely get more markup with a car that's more expensive. Cars like the FD, prices for the US legal ones are between 1 million and about 2.5 million. Usually. So they're a little bit less than Skylines, I would say. Not an awful... Skyline GTRs, pardon me. And so we have 116,795 kilometers with an auction grade 3.5B. This one is not US legal. It is a year 2000 model though, so I think that's the second to last year that they made these. And they made them longer in Japan than they did in the US. They were expensive cars to make, and they just couldn't make any money in the US. And so I think that they cut production in like 95 or 97 or something like that. But they got better each year, sort of like Subaru Imprezas, Lancer Evolutions. Every year they made little improvements, and this car is kind of the same. And so these final models are the ones that everyone in Japan wants, because they have the 280 horsepower. I think they started at 220 or 240 with the first generation ones of the FD. I don't know. But these ones have the full 280, the better looking front bumper with the more aggressive turn signals here, and the different lip at the bottom. I think these cars look great stock, and I think that they look great modified, and they're kind of one of the only cars that does that. So, condition-wise, let's see. Exterior has paint peeling and paint cracks. Navi doesn't work, and it has been fully repainted the original color. Okay, so this is what happens after you repaint a car. If you don't pay a lot of money when you repaint a car, 5 or 7 years after you start to get paint damage, especially paint cracks or paint peeling, because a respray typically isn't done as high quality as the original one is. And it's part of the reason why people don't like resprayed cars, or the price for them will be less. Especially color changed cars are usually about $1,000 to $2,000 less than a regular version of the car. So front bumper has A4, big scratches. W means repaint marks, pretty much everywhere. Paint cracks back here. And paint is uneven on the door, and paint cracks on the side skirt here. Okay, the interior, I don't like the interior of the FD. And I hate saying that because I think it looks okay, but everything in the FD creaks when you touch it. And it's really annoying, especially the center console here. And I just think that I hate to be a downer on a car that is so great, but that's a big letdown for me. because it's not that easy to fix. It takes a long time. You have to take all the panels out. You have to get foam tape, and you have to go tape it up. And Mazda knows how to make cars, and the Miata doesn't do that. Maybe it does. When's the last time I've been in a Miata? I don't think it does. It's sad. Sad, sad Miata. I mean, RX-7. Anyways, it's original wheels and price for year 2000. 1.3 million yen on this one. Okay. And that is the end of this video. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 picks this week. We got it in under 30 minutes, and so I'm going to give myself a pat on the back. Let's see if you can hear this. Good job, Derek. Good job, Andrew, for picking only 8 vehicles. When I pick the vehicles, I can't say no to some of them, and it ends up being 10 or 12 vehicles long. Anyways, that's going to be the end. We'll see you again next week. Thank you very much. See you later.